Well, if you recall, recently on the show we had Rod on with us, and we've now been joined by him again, but also the rest of the band, Natty Fox, are all with us here. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Doing great.
Yeah, very well.
Now, can you guys just describe to us just a little bit about the band, really, and what type of music you make?
Let's go with the singer for that one.
Well, I mean, the band is we're now at the decade mark. I mean, we started probably about 10 years ago,
Wow.
and the music has really kind of evolved over that time. When we started off kind of jamming in Rob's apartment, it was, I think, kind of a lot more stripped down rock and roll. And as we've kind of developed, the production has really kind of vamped up a little bit. And I think it's cool because you're getting a pooling of the influences of the rest of the guys in the band too.
Yeah.
So we kind of got this like heavier rock and roll thing going on than even when we initially started. I think probably it was, and Rod, you can probably attest to this, but it's probably a little bit kind of even poppier at the beginning. And I think that we've kind of got a little edgier as we've gone along. So it's been cool to see that happen over the years.
Yeah. And how did you guys come about originally? Because you're sort of all over the place. Did you meet online, or did you used to live near each other, or was it just by chance meeting up?
Well, back in the day, we're all together in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
And then as the years go by, like I am now in Brazil, Jones is in Nashville, and I think we left those two behind in Arizona taking care of everything.
Yeah. And I guess having people from different parts of the world, do you sort of embrace the cultures of where you are and end up with a kind of hybrid of all sorts of different genres in there?
Well, we embrace the heck out of Rod. I think
say
he's
not.
a special
I think
guy
it-
anywhere.
I think at this point we're really like a rock and roll band.
Yeah, I guess it's good to know what you want to do from start to finish. And how much has your sound evolved since you started?
Like Jones had said, it kind of took on a little heavier edge because Nate and I joined the band in 2012. I think it was 2012. And it was a real poppy sound. It was really it had kind of a real 90s type flair to it. And I think, when Nate and I got in the band, it added a little bit more of an edge to it, a little bit heavier. There was a little more drop D tuning going on, and I think kind of things took a little heavier edge. And it's just been evolving from there. I mean, it's tough to evolve any further, being so far apart. We haven't played together in the same room in a number of years now, but the recording, it still has it's a little bit of evolution to it, but it's slowed a little bit based on just the distance.
Yeah. And because you're all apart, have you been recording separately in your own houses before it became really popular last year?
Right, yeah. We have, sometimes a song starts with an idea, or maybe like a really old song that we have had in the past, but we really didn't record it. And nowadays with, technology allowing us to just record separately and then put a final product together, we have been doing that, quite a few times in the past, year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you been able to do any gigs since 10 years ago when it was formed? Have you had any fun ones, been able to meet up for that?
Yeah, we play like a number of gigs, like from 2000, I don't know, like when did we play our first gig? 2010, maybe 2011. And then we had different formations, but then once Nate and Tom got in the band, that was kind of like the final formation. And we played a lot of fun gigs, back then. We actually had a little tour planned. It was gonna be like a celebrating 10 years of Natty Fox. We're gonna do a tour in Brazil, that we were planning, but then of course COVID kind of destroyed those plans. So we moved to a different plan. We're putting together a best of Natty Fox with some of our favorite songs, some of the songs that people enjoyed. And I'm gonna let Tom talk a little bit more about that because he's really involved more with that process.
Yeah, the best of. What we kind of decided to do is go back and take a look at the catalog, and there's a lot of music there, and we just decided to take some of that, and we're having it remixed here in Phoenix, studio here in Phoenix, Fullwell Studios. And so we're having everything, we're having all the stuff we've done remotely, we're having it edited and remixed and mastered. And a lot of the stuff was recorded with just MIDI drums. So now we're going back in, we're having Nate sit in there and actually put real drums to it. And we've got 3 or 4 songs done now. And, we're going to probably do at least another 3 or 4, half dozen maybe. And then kind of release a best of, that takes stuff from all three eras pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's great when you get to a stage where you can put loads of great songs on the one album, and I suppose the best of is perhaps a really good way for somebody who's discovered the band for the first time to see what you're all about.
Right, absolutely. It's like I've been sending some of those tracks to friends of friends, and people are just like, oh, this is great, so this is a new band, and we're like, dude, we've been around for 10 years, man, but I'll take that new band a title, it's all good.
And are you hopeful that sometime in the future, hopefully not too far, you might be able to have a tour back on the agenda again or something similar?
Yeah, we're talking about like maybe getting together and do a couple of shows in Arizona, when the best of is ready. But unfortunately, with this whole situation, it has been hard to pick dates, and places. We're still just playing safe and not, announcing things that might get canceled.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing, I suppose. Just when things are looking really good, about a few weeks later, we're in lockdown again and we can't do anything.
Yeah,
I haven't even really told these guys, but I've got a friend in Denver. And he's opening up a new music store, and he's actually having a video studio that he's putting in his new music store. And he invited us up to actually, if we do get everybody together in the U.S., come up to Denver and actually, do a live streaming concert, which would make it a lot easier to reach a lot more people pretty quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's become pretty popular in the COVID era too, doing the live streaming thing. So I don't even know if I've even told these guys that, but yeah, we've got that invite to go do that up in Denver. We're going to see Ike Jones.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do Fly Like That.
Yeah.
I think it'll be requested. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess it's really good to do a live stream when you're in an actual sort of gig location, because I guess the live streams in people's houses aren't as exciting than watching a show as if it's a big one, I suppose, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I did one last year. I play here in Phoenix with a cover band, and we did a live streaming show, and honestly it was weird as hell. Yeah. Because you're basically playing to a bunch of cameras and the crew. There's really no audience to feed off of. You're playing in front of a green screen, so they're putting stuff on the video screen behind you, and it's looking like a great big production. It's awesome, but it's really kind of weird trying to maintain the energy when you're only playing to a bunch of guys that are looking down at video screens, and maybe a couple of friends and family members that are kind of off in the shadows. It's really kind of odd, but it is what it is, and it allows us. Yeah, well, or worse.
And I suppose the thing is, if you, the musician, are concentrating on your music and everyone else is doing the technical stuff, do you know for sure if anybody's actually watching as well?
Not while we're playing, but after the fact, you can go through, because the one we did, it was streamed live on Facebook, and it was streamed live on YouTube at the same time. And we knew there were people watching, and we could see that after the fact. We could see how many people were commenting and stuff. But it's just a little weird when you're doing it at first, because you're playing to nobody. Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess sometimes I think I've seen some musicians do it where I guess it's a little bit more intimate, and they read the comments and interact more with the viewers, which is quite an interesting thing, I suppose, because then they know that people are watching, and I guess they can perform off that.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I had that planned out. I mean, it would be
Yeah.
more of an interactive type situation. Maybe play one or two songs, stop, take some comments, questions. Tell Nate to put pants on again, and then move on to another couple songs. But so that's off in the future. I mean, if Rod's ever let back into the country, we can maybe do something like this. But
And it's not to do with COVID that he's not allowed.
Right, nothing to do with the COVID.
Well, do you have any more exciting projects that you're working on or are thinking of working on in the future?
Well, we're
Jones is
going
the
to keep
project
trying
guy.
to write a couple of songs, for Natty Fox. Keep that going, because now that we got into this idea that it's very possible for us to still create song being far away, why not keep trying to develop that?
Yeah.
And we all have separate little projects that we love doing. It's hard to stop.
Yeah.
Once you start creating music, you start creating music with a bunch of other people,
Yeah, for sure. Well, where are we able to check out all of the band's music and keep up to date with you everywhere?
Well, I mean, obviously the social media sites are, obviously really good. I mean, you can check us out. We're on Facebook and Instagram and everything, but also you can check out, let's see, we've got YouTube videos up and everything like that with those. And then we're on all the streamers and stuff too. So, I mean, you just check out Natty Fox, and I think, help me on some of the usernames, Natty Fox Band. There's a couple of them on the Instagrams and stuff, right?
Yeah.
All the internets.
All the internets. We're all over the internet thing.
Yeah.
The cool thing about the name is that it's very different. Like that, if you type Natty Fox, you're gonna find us. You can put the name on iTunes, Spotify, you absolutely gonna find us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks very much for coming on the show today. It's been great to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.